7th.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Starting off slow today, Cam. Long weekend. Today is October 7th. Great day. Another edition of He Knows Ball. JD to my left, Corey to my right, Soren in his alley somewhere. Got a lot of stuff coming up this week on He Knows Ball. I know we got some baseball, postseason baseball, JD. I'm so excited. Oh, yeah. We'll have that coming up later in the show. We have a new picks leader, so we'll get to that in a little bit. I know Corey has returned from the IR.
Yeah, and it's just not getting better.
Yeah,
which later in the show we'll find out. But
JD, I know you're not feeling too hot. I'm not feeling great. We're all barreling through. We're doing all right. We're here live.
We are live.
We are live for you and you and you, all live. Yeah. How was the IR week off? H2O.
It wasn't bad. It was all right, you know. But watching Steeler football was tough.
Made me even sicker.
Yeah, made me even sicker. You know, that's why I wasn't here last week. Actually, was just because of that awful performance.
It's fair. But before we get to the picks crowning, we'll start this episode off as always with a little bit of trivia with Does He Know Ball?
Does he know ball?
Cameron, what do we got today?
So, in honor of my GOAT, my personal greatest of all time, Jared Goff, absolutely balling out against the Seahawks. First ever quarterback in NFL history that I'm aware of to have a 100% completion rate and also 1-for-1 in receiving and being able to catch a touchdown pass too, which is awesome. We're going to go over the former top 5 single game leaders in NFL history. 3 strikes, you're out.
Top 5 for what? Completion percentage in the game?
Completion percentage.
Not including the GOAT Jared Goff.
Yes. So it's the former top 5, so now top 6 minus Jared Goff.
Okay.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is number 1.
Yes.
96.7 against the Indianapolis Colts, December 16th, 2019.
I'm trying to think.
Wow.
I know someone started like 17 for 17. I'm trying to remember who that was. It was a few years ago.
What about Mahomes?
He's not even on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't even see him on the top 20 of this list.
You said we're doing 3-strike system today?
Yeah, we'll give one each 3 strikes. So
right.
if you get 3 strikes,
So let's strike one, bucko.
All right.
Peyton Manning.
Not even in the top 20.
Jesus.
Wow. Tom Brady.
Not even in the top 20. All right, each down to 1 strike.
I'm
I'm telling you, like there's a couple names on this top 5 that you're gonna go, what the
1950s.
No. Everyone who's in this list, 2 of them are now retired. The rest have all played in the last decade. Like they've all been in this last like pretty close recently.
But it's like random. It's just random.
Like the
players.
farthest guy for the top 5 last play or this like the game was recorded in 2018. That's the farthest back we go.
Oh wow, so it's really recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
No.
So you're
2
on 2 strikes.
2 strikes.
CJ Stroud.
No.
Damn.
What about Rodgers?
No.
Really?
So everyone's on
Definitely
2 strikes. Wow. I'm
Take,
trying to think.
take your time.
It's gonna be very very random.
So you said Drew Brees. One of the other quarterbacks, I'll give you the hint now that you guys are all down to lunch track. One of the quarterbacks, the team that he was on for this game was in the NFC. The rest were all AFC teams.
That didn't help at
They're
all.
they're all.
I mean, it did, but it didn't.
They were all a starting quarterback at one point.
But that's usually
Some may not be anymore.
Okay. I was about to say I would assume if they're a starter, they would do this if they were a starter. I didn't think they were coming off the bench and going 18 for 18. One of them isn't a starter anymore, but he's still oh my god, is it Joe Flacco?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Flacco's not on this. You're
Wow.
out.
All right, I'm out.
Corey.
We got 4 more left. Drew Brees was right. Another hint, I guess, one of them is retired. One of the guys that you're missing is now retired. We may have saw him stumbling around Pittsburgh as well.
Oh my god, I know who it is
Phillip
now.
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers
Oh,
is number 2.
God.
Phillip Rivers is number 2, 96.6 for the Chargers against the Cardinals in 2018.
Right as you said, stumbling around Pittsburgh, I got it. That's so
all the Philip Rivers.
yeah, dude, I kept freaking out because I saw Philip Rivers everywhere.
That's why we have 2, right? Yeah, we have 2.
Yeah, you have 2. 3 are left.
The other ones aren't retired?
No.
I can't guess anymore.
Wow.
I'm out.
Well, I think he's retired. No, he's definitely not retired. Maybe not.
Who's the back?
Are they in the rest in the AFC, or is there one NFC still?
Still
On the
on NFC.
teams, yeah, one NFC.
One NFC.
Okay, he isn't retired. That's what I was right.
This is who came up with this? Was this you?
This was me.
I
I
was
came up
saying.
on this. I wanted to
Yeah.
give like each of you an individual trivia question about like the Jets, Steelers, Eagles, but like I always thought once like Jared Goff did that, I was like, I really
you
want to
have
look at
to.
the top
Yeah.
5, and then I saw the list and I was like, this is gonna be the one week where I stump them.
Yeah.
You got
This
me.
is a really good one, man. You got to throw a guess out. I'm trying to think to like help you guys out, but I got nothing.
So we need 3 more: 2 AFC,
AFC,
and 1
one
NFC.
NFC.
Don't look at my
I'm trying
laptop.
to think NFC.
One was the second overall pick in the 2015 draft.
Mariota.
Marcus
yeah.
Mariota.
Mariota.
I'll give you that one because I
I would
did
have
not
never
think you
thought
would got.
Mariota.
Yeah.
He was what, 5th, 4th?
Marcus Mariota was 3rd.
How?
95.7
Wow.
for the Tennessee Titans against the Houston Texans in 2018.
Check down Merchant, I guess. Golly.
I don't have his passing. I don't have the passing stats for that game. I'm kind of curious.
That'd be like
now.
100 yards.
Probably. Probably just like a snow game where he threw like 10 passes.
2 more.
1 AFC, 1 NFC.
Was Mariota the backup you were talking about? Or is there
Yeah.
still... I was saying, is he a backup still?
He's the backup on the
Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No,
Well,
the
yeah,
next,
that's...
the
I
next
wonder
2
why.
are starting quarterbacks this year.
Still.
This
Still in
year.
the league.
AFC?
NFC and AFC. One happened. Actually, I can't. That gives it away.
Jimmy
too
G?
much. Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
No. You're
Wow.
right. Corey, last
It's
one.
down to me.
Come on. Save us, man.
1 AFC, 1 NFC. And they're starting now, you said?
They are starting.
Starting
quarterbacks.
I
us.
didn't
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting now.
That's why you said Jimmy G. I'm like, what do you...
I'm going to start digging for some names in my head.
I think I have a guess.
1 AFC, 1 NFC.
I could give you a guess for the one, but like the only one that's coming to my
What,
head. was
Stafford?
just- No.
That's
No?
what. That's what I was.
All
Gonna,
right.
That's what I was gonna mouth to you.
Well, you guys have failed. You do not know ball.
Apparently.
So we'll start from the top. You guys got Drew Brees, 96.7 for the on the Saints. Philip Rivers, number 2, 96.6. Marcus Mariota, I don't know how he's.
That's insane.
I'll do once you guys get talking a little bit more. I'll
Yeah,
do
look
some
up-
digging.
look up
I'll
the-
do some
look up
digging.
that
I'll figure
game.
that. Number 4, Brock Purdy.
I was going to say
Really?
Brock
Brock
Purdy.
Purdy, 95.2 for the 49ers against the Cardinals last year in October.
Was it that had to have been the
Oh,
game
yeah,
he
yeah.
started? Like I said, I think someone started like 17 for 17 last season. It had to have been Purdy.
And the final one, number 5, Gardner Minshew.
Wow.
That's crazy.
95%
In
Jacksonville Jaguars
Against
against
who?
the Colts. COVID football, September 13th.
Okay, that season's
Wow.
a fever dream. That shouldn't count. Oh my lord.
You want to hear the next 2? I'm kind of shocked by this. I mean, I'm not shocked by Ryan Tannehill is number 7. He's also tied with Alex Smith.
Well, Alex Smith was a game manager, checkdown merchant. Like that's
Okay.
still insane though. Wow.
Let's get back to the show. I'm gonna go do some digging
That's a
on this
good.
Mariota game.
Honestly, that is
Yeah,
probably
good
the best
job,
trivia
Cam.
question we had. Round of
Great
applause
job,
for
great
you.
job.
That was good. Man. But we're gonna move out of. We're gonna move away from ball, and we're gonna go into the squared circle. It's time for a little bit of wrestling. PLE this weekend, Bad Blood in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're gonna bring in our wrestling specialist, Bernie Radel, to break down the recent PLE and the fallout from the event. So Corey, kick rocks. Have you noticed? Rocking the WrestleMania shirt today. I know it's not WrestleMania, but had to preview wrestling a little bit as the King comes on. Not for long though.
Nope.
He will be anointing.
Unfortunately.
He will be anointing our new king in a little bit. But pop the headphones on. Let's talk about wrestling before you give up your crown.
All right.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Good.
We're hanging on, man.
Hanging on?
Hanging on.
It's only the beginning of the week. You got so many more days to go.
Yeah, I'm aware. All right, so what happened this weekend down in Atlanta, Georgia? Not including what Kirk Cousins did.
Not including what Kirk
Not
Cousins did?
including what Kirk Cousins did.
So we'll start on Saturday, right?
Yes. that is
Okay,
what
so
it was.
Saturday, WWE hosted Bad Blood. They kicked off with a Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, which was obviously match of the night. I think we were both calling that before we even watched. Then the rest of the show was just okay.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot the rest of the matches. Do you
We
have them pulled
had-
up or?
It was Nia Jax Bailey, which was
oh, all right.
okay. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
anything special. What was the other match?
Liv
Oh.
versus Rhea with Dom in a shark cage.
Oh my god! I remember when he fell out of the cage. You were tweaking out. You
I
act-
was. I thought he was about to die.
I told, dude, we were joking. I was joking before. I'm like, he's gonna Owen Hart tonight. He's gonna fall, and
That's crazy.
it would have been such a shame. But yeah, I remember we were talking about what was he? Because we know what the main event was. What was there was another mid card, not mid card, but what was the third match of the night?
No, jeez.
I had to pull this up now. This is.
Yeah, I completely forgot. But while you do that, the main event was fine.
Oh, it was Priest and Finn.
Priest and Finn Balor, yeah.
That was a good match. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Helping build the storyline. They had Bad Blood.
Well, I think it would have helped the storyline more if Finn actually won, because I don't remember the last time he's won a big match
Yeah.
besides maybe Seth, but that was over a year ago.
I'm thinking maybe because he lost to Damian with Judgment Day trying to help,
Mhm.
maybe we get the Demon Persona to come back.
I'd hope so.
He has to dig into that deep, dark spot. Maybe they have a crazy match at War Games. Yeet.
Yeet?
Maybe some Yeet.
Nah, he's gonna be with the Bloodline.
Yeah, probably.
But I think we should preface this. I mean, it's too late for that, but I think we should say we weren't really paying attention for most of the matches.
That's
We were mostly chatting
Yeah.
for most of the pay-per-view. So
I mean, that just proves how bad of a pay-per-view it was. We would have been locked in if it was a lot better.
nah, I was trying to be locked in, but you kept
Okay,
yapping.
settle down.
But I don't think we can give it a fair grade since we didn't really pay attention most of the time.
Yeah. Well, again,
So
the women's title matches were okay. I think they're setting up the Tiffy Stratton turn. That seems very due.
they keep doing it every week too.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where it's gonna happen soon. I don't know when, but I wouldn't be surprised if she cashes in before the Rumble. I think that's probably your best bet.
Because the Rumble's so far away. So
Yeah, honestly, the way that they've been doing the weekly shows, like tonight, Gunther's putting up his title. Jay's putting up his he's putting up his
Yeah.
title against Xavier Woods. So it seems like they're kind of going back to where the weekly shows are now having better matches. Even like the mid card has been great. So maybe we see Tiffy cash in during like a week. I feel like we haven't seen that in forever. It's always PLEs now.
yeah,
So maybe that's what we're trending towards. I really hated the end of the women's match between Rhea and Liv.
oh, we're Raquel
bo-
Rodriguez came back.
Well, first off, the ref botched it because he was in the wrong spot.
Yeah, he was looking at
Yeah.
Raquel
Yeah.
hit Rhea from behind and then didn't call the bell for
So that
10 seconds.
so that was kind of ugly. But the main event, it's definitely what we needed leading up to War Games. The return of Jimmy Uso, and of course, the final boss.
I'm surprised they did it now. I mean, The Rock probably wants to have a match at Survivor Series because that's where he debuted. I think he has a soft spot for that. But I think it would have made more sense if he debuted after the War Games match. Like he came back and he's like, "What's going on here?"
Kind of like Punk last year.
Like he just watched all of his brothers and family fighting, and he comes back and he's like, "We can't have this. I gotta restore order."
Right.
But I guess he's gonna be in War Games.
So probably in War Games singles match against Roman. Do we think it's at Mania or do we think it's at the Rumble? I think it's a Mania type match.
it has to be at Mania.
But
But like you were saying, they're putting better matches on weekly shows. So I was
Roman versus
thinking
Rock on SmackDown.
the debut of Netflix on Raw in February.
I think that'd be sick. I don't see them doing that. I feel like that is such a headliner match. They can't.
It is. It would
They
be.
can't put that during a weekly show. I feel like they save it for the Rumble, or not for for WrestleMania. I don't know how they're gonna drag it out for that long with him coming back now and Mania being 6 months away, 5 months away. Like it's still a while until Mania rolls around, but that's a Mania type match.
Yeah.
Who else do we think is gonna debut? What do we think the War Game is gonna look like?
It's probably going to be old Bloodline versus New Bloodline. So old Bloodline, you'd have obviously Roman, you'd have Jimmy J, and Yeet.
No Yeet.
No Yeet.
Yeet and no Yeet.
They're going to start eating together.
Yeet.
That's going to be a segment on SmackDown where Jay's going to be there, and he's going to have his hands up like this, and the whole crowd's going to want Jimmy to do it, and then they're all going to do it in unison with Roman, probably.
Roman, no shot. Roman hits the.
He's going to yeet.
Are we gonna get the honorary Oos back? Sammy Hogan.
I think Sammy Hogan. I think, yeah, probably either that, him or Cody, or both. I don't think Cody should be involved at
Probably
Survivor
not.
Series. I think he should have his own match. But
Who would he go against though? Kevin now.
literally,
'Cause
yeah,
he
Kevin.
attacked him backstage.
Yeah, I'd pick literally anybody else than someone from the Bloodline.
I'm still surprised we haven't seen a Randy Orton turn yet.
I thought he would turn before KO.
That's what I thought too. I thought he would turn because he lost to Gunther and Cody was handing out free shots for KO. I thought he was gonna turn because he was gonna get one. I really want to see him. I want to see legacy match with Ted DiBiase Jr. Zoom calling from prison.
Oh my God.
The DiBiase posse.
It's like on the screen and in the corner it says via satellite prison.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be like the COVID wrestling where there's just like a screen of him. It's got to be perfect. He's the special guest commentator.
Nah, the prison wouldn't allow that.
Okay.
I mean, they could. I guess WWE could just call in and be like,
Yeah.
"This is your dad," and then put him on, and he's like, he's just commentating in the courtyard.
I think he has a great theme song, by the way. His old theme
Oh,
song.
I love it.
Great.
Awesome.
Why do like random jobbers and like mid-carders have like the best theme songs?
Because Jim Johnston was the best composer the company's ever
Now
seen.
Def Rebel is just killing it.
No, they
And
cut,
not-
they
killing
cut
it in a
ties.
thing.
They're not renewing their
Thank
contract.
God, their theme songs suck.
Mm-hmm.
Free mode.
That was CFO though.
Yeah, that's fair. But what do you think the fallout of Bad Blood is? What do you think WWE's gonna look like going forward?
I literally don't really know. I don't even know how much changed. Because if Finn won, that'd be interesting, but he lost. If Rhea won, that'd be interesting, but she lost.
Well,
I mean,
Raquel's in there now, so like it's Blood, or not Blood, Judgment Day new Judgment Day expands now. We got Raquel around.
there's so many people in the Judgment Day. Like, why is Carlito there? I love
'cause That's
Carlito.
cool.
But besides that, nothing else I can really think of. Like the Drew Punk feud's probably over, so one of them might feud with Seth.
I think Drew probably won't be until after the after War Games. I think Drew goes for the IC title.
You think from like Jay or something?
I think that'd be really cool.
He can't win the world title, so he's got to win a title.
Yes. I mean, let's be honest. He loses the feud. He shouldn't be thrust into the world title scene.
I mean, he's still a main event guy, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think him and Jay would have good matches. I think eventually, if Drew ends up winning, Drew versus Braun Breaker would be insane.
Oh yeah, I think you meant Braun Strowman. I was like,
No. The reigning greatest Royal Rumble champion. I
the
said that
longest
too.
reigning, like 2,200 days.
Yeah, it's like near 2,300 now. What do you think about the new belt they unveiled for the next crown jewel, the ultimate crown jewel champion?
You know, I liked it. I thought it was fine. It's not the best belt, but it's not the worst belt. There are far uglier belts.
24/7 championship.
Exactly. But you didn't like the new belt.
It just looks so big. I mean,
Yeah, it's classic.
No, but like it's too big.
Have you seen old belt photos? They're like yay tall and like yay wide.
Yay,
Yeah.
not yeet wide.
Yeet.
All right. Well, that's enough of wrestling. But the last thing you have to do before we let you go is we do have to crown a new champion. Bernie held the title for a week.
It was the best week we've had so far.
Was it? I don't think so.
In my humble opinion, yes.
I don't think it's very definitely not humble. But Cameron is our new champion, so let's pass it down the line.
Y'all doubted Will Levis. Good thing Will Levis got hurt and Mason Rudolph clutched up for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Enjoy the crown.
Thank you, man.
How does it feel?
A little heavy. Honestly, it looked a little dinky, but you know, it's real jewels. And
Yeah, I was
stuff,
gonna say real jewels,
yeah.
real gold.
But you know, like I said, shout out Will Levis for memeing himself again. Unfortunately, Mason Rudolph coming in for the clutch. None of you guys believed in me. Battle of the Backups was absolutely electric. Did not pay attention to a single minute of it. Honestly, I gave up after the first quarter once the Lions game started. But you know, it was there. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Never a doubt that the Lions were going to lose to the Seahawks. I don't know what you guys were talking about.
Okay, good one, Cam.
Thank you.
Okay. Bernie, thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking good care of the crown for me, Bernie.
Yeah, I dropped it last week, remember?
3 times.
All right, before we keep going, can we talk about this Marcus Mariota game?
yes. Please. I'm
So,
glad you looked it up.
I'll let Corey sit down first.
Yeah, Papa Squat there,
These
Bucko.
stats are like nuts. So, this was a 34-17 loss for the Titans. Deshaun Watson versus Marcus Mariota, Monday Night Football, primetime game in Houston, so away game for the Titans. The Titans' total offense, 365 yards. 303 of those yards were passing. He threw 22 for 23 with 2 touchdowns. The first touchdown of the game being a 61-yard pass to Jonnu Smith. And then a 48-yard touchdown pass to Corey Davis.
Dog. Former Jet.
Absolutely
Oh, yeah.
nuts game
That's
by
such
Marcus
a-
Mariota,
It's
right?
such a random game.
He's also the only person in the top 15 to be on that list twice.
How?
Twice.
How?
Great question, dude. I just kind of am just more shocked. He was 15th. He threw for 92.9% against the San Francisco 49ers in 2022 while he was on the Atlanta Falcons.
Why?
Dude, I don't know.
Why
but
is
Marcus
that-
Mariota might be the generational backup I've been waiting for.
Look, he was a second overall pick for a reason.
I know, but like it feels like
He
he's
did
just got swept under
look,
the rug.
he did throw and catch the same pass for a touchdown against the Chiefs in a playoff game. So maybe you have to give him another chance. Just kidding. Never let that man start a football game ever again.
I don't know, dude. I feel like stats don't lie.
No. Don't
Maybe
be.
maybe only primetime games.
Yeah, that's the only time he performs. Let's move on to our next segment. Time for some team takes. Corey, you talked about it a little bit earlier. What are we feeling right now?
Just awful for to keep it PG on the live stream because we have kids probably watching or whatever.
Probably not.
No, the first thing I will say, good luck to the Penguins on Wednesday. Their home opener against the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a good game, I
It'll be a
think.
battle.
Be a battle. Now on to the awful stuff. First, the North Carolina Tar Heels football is just, I don't know what happened, where they went. They started 3-0. They looked bad against JMU. Blew, I think it was a 21-point lead or something to Duke. And now against Pitt, I mean, they got outplayed in the second half again. Jacoby Criswell still had a solid outing. And we, saw production from Hampton and McCollum, but I mean, they just got outplayed again. And obviously, I didn't think they were going to make the CFP, but this game definitely just crushed their chances, especially now starting 0-2 in conference play.
You definitely want to make a bowl game at least.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm hoping.
At this point, though.
I'm hoping, yeah, because they just the last 2 games, like they just can't get going in the second half, and it's like.
They also don't have a starting quarterback. They've cycled.
Yeah,
each game
I know.
so-
It's been tough, but now on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when I was out last week, just to summarize it, awful performance up until the fourth quarter. Justin Fields, they actually let him off the leash and let him throw the ball, and they should have won that game. They didn't win that game because of miscues, and Najee Harris goes brain dead in the final, 10 seconds. Step out of bounds, bro. And then last night, like, it's the same, just mundane, 3rd and 8, let's hand it off to Najee. Like, it was just another frustrating, just, as I call it, typical Steeler football. That first drive, at 3rd and 8, they hand it off to Najee, and they come up like 2 yards short, and Tomlin's like, "You're this close. You're this close." Like, I just knew. I just knew right from the beginning. Like,
Do you think the hour and a half delay played into that?
maybe a little bit, but
Not enough.
still, I mean, I don't know. I just think they should have been more aggressive. Like, they run the same. Whether they pitch it or hand it off to Najee, or they throw short passes leading the receiver towards the sideline for a couple yards, or maybe a first down if they find a seam or something. We got outgained. I mean, we only had 233 yards. The Cowboys had close to, I think, 500, like 450, something like that. I mean, Pickens was shut down. We had 8 penalties. The Cowboys dominated us in time of possession. Like, we did nothing. The only upside was TJ Watt, 100 career sacks. Congrats. And yes, dog.
We'll still be stumped for the defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
Every
listen,
single
I
season.
will hold that till the day I die that he should have won last year. He should have won. And the defense played better, forced 3 Dak turnovers, blocked an Aubrey field goal, but the defense just kind of gave up at the end of the game. I mean, Dak and Dowdle just marched right down the field. I mean, there was nothing. They did nothing. But yeah, I mean, the offense needs to improve desperately. Can Arthur Smith please not call the same predictable plays? Let Fields when they let Fields off his leash. He threw for 300 yards last week, and then he threw 40 in the first half.
That's why I was surprised in the offseason after Smith got fired after last year that they brought him in. You saw how those weapons in Atlanta, they're performing well. Bijan is a beast. Pitts is finally getting his footing. He had no catches last week, but he's finally getting his footing. Drake London looks like a top receiver in the league this year. I understand he'd have a quarterback, but Arthur Smith was also, and they still do it a little bit. I don't know what the obsession is with Tyler Algier. They keep giving him the ball so much. I get it. Algier is a fine running back. He's a fine RB2. They put him on the field so much.
Yeah,
I do not understand. But that's why I was so surprised that of everyone they could have brought in as OC, they decided Arthur Smith.
Listen, anybody's better than Matt Canada, but my God, it's the same. They're afraid to make explosive plays or something. I don't know what it is.
They're allergic to it.
It is. I don't remember them having a really good first half. It's been so long since they've balled out in a first half. I don't know. I'm done with my team takes. I'm done. I don't even know if I have faith for them against the Raiders this week.
That's
coming
3
week.
straight weeks of team takes. Whoever's rating out, I'm done. Move on. I did it the last week. You did it last week.
Yeah.
And such a shame. JD,
You know what? You go. You go. 'Cause I'm going to explode again. I said I wasn't, but I will.
So we're gonna save baseball to do it together.
Yeah,
but I'll do it. Well, mine's gonna be kind of quick, so you better charge up quickly.
I'm ready.
First off, go Flyers. First game on Thursday at the Vancouver Canucks. There is not high expectations for the Flyers this year, but hey, that's usually when they perform better. Usually when their expectations are high, they're terrible, and usually when they're low, they play well. So.
Well,
Are they starting on the
Tortorella
West
lead that
Coast?
team.
Yeah,
Like a trip?
West Coast to start the season is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But
I mean
it's all right.
Tortorella will get those guys fired up.
That's what you want to coach, man. But both of the other 2 teams on bye this week. Oklahoma had a bye, and they needed it. Red River rivalry coming up on Saturday, facing the number 1 ranked University of Texas Longhorns with Quinn Ewers back as the starter. I am scared. The Oklahoma season is going to be over after this week unless they pull out a miracle. They did win last year against Ewers and the Longhorns, but I'm definitely not confident. Quarterback situation still a mess. Defense might be able to hold their own. They've been playing very well this season, but I don't know if you're going to force Ewers to make that many mistakes. So Oklahoma's playoff chances are probably shot after this week. But look, they're tied for 18th. They're 3-8 tie in the AP rankings for 18th. So if they get a win, I think that catapults them to at least top 12. And then they play Bama later, and they play SU later. So
It's gonna get
they're
tough.
gonna
Yeah,
they're
it's
gonna
get
they're gonna
tough.
quickly they're gonna get a bowl game, which is great, but that's about it. That's all they're gonna do. And then my other team, the Eagles, also on bye, and they have
Much needed by.
much needed. I'm really hoping Smith and Lane and Brown are all back. Britton Covey, the GOAT, is still out for a while. Much to Cam's chagrin. They play the Browns this week at home.
They have to beat the Browns, please.
It should be a game where how bad the Browns have been, how bad Watson's looked. Just take care of business. This will be a game where Deshaun Watson, everyone's like, maybe he was worth the contract. He'll throw for 300 yards, throw 4 touchdowns, run for 1, and it'll be a shootout for 0 reason. Just take care of business, please. It shouldn't be like this early in the season, at least. Who would have thought the Commanders would have been leading the NFC East?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, Colin Cowherd technically. He said the Commanders
doesn't
would come.
know.
He said the Commanders would come second in division, and I laughed at his video and moved on. And the Commanders are 4-1. And their only loss was to a Bucks team who was very, very good. So, go Eagles, I guess. I'll save the rest of my team takes, John. Time to crash out, buddy.
Well, listen, the Irish moved up to number 11. They didn't even play, so that's a good thing. Talked about it before with the Rangers. They're opening up Wednesday. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about the Rangers this year. Now the Jets. You just it's every week. I'd put it's a broken record. No rant this week. I don't even know.
I think the rant's still coming.
I don't think the voice can rant today.
No, but it's just so disappointing. Like,
listen, I feel you, John. I feel you. I mean, we're not
like,
as bad
I
as
don't
the
even know
Jets, but like,
yeah,
you
like
know.
I don't even know what to say. Like the coaching is just poor. It's just not good. Especially the defense just in the last 4 weeks letting up 12 points a game and you only win 2 games. What are we doing? It's just upsetting.
Do we know if they left Robert Saleh in London?
I hope they did, but they didn't. I saw the press conference this morning. He was all, "Oh, we're only a game out of first place. You're not
Did he
winning. You're
actually
not
say
winning."
that?
Yeah, he did.
Well, I'm not surprised.
No,
but,
he did. The guy's
And
clueless.
Rogers is getting just
You can just
killed.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, you have no run game. Then you think you can play action. How you play action with no run game? They're not going to respect it. Doesn't matter who's back there.
yeah.
I think there is a positive takeaway to take, though. He did finally get that connection with Wilson going.
Yeah, but he was forcing it too. Like 20.
He was.
Yeah, I
He
get
was.
it. I
But,
get it.
But like that has to be a positive takeaway. Again, you never, especially to a Vikings team that now is 5-0. Again, I don't think any of us expected that. But with a Jets team or with a Vikings team that has been solid this year on both sides of the ball, to still be able to find that connection with Wilson. And also, it's one of those fluky games over in London.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a game they should have won, but you move on. You take the positive takeaway. They have, I think, a long week, right? They're playing Monday night next
Monday,
week.
yeah.
And so they have a long week, so hopefully they can rest up. It's just, it's frustrating. Even for me, I see how frustrated you get. It's starting to get a little frustrating, man. That's all you got?
Yep.
All right, well, time for we said we are going to do our team takes together. Because it's yours, I'll let you start because I'm not happy.
Listen, it's 1-1. So this is the Mets Phillies. This is going to be a fight to the end. They're throwing haymakers at each other. I mean, this is. As a Mets fan, though, I did not expect any of this last week. I thought they were going to go into Atlanta last Monday after we ended the show, get swept, season would be over. They somehow came back, won. Then they beat the Brewers. The way they beat them, too, was insane. Like,
Yeah.
even yesterday, they almost came back and won again. It was crazy. Like, man, they got me. They reeled me in. They reeled me in. Listen, if they can imagine, they win the next 2 games, and they go to the NLCS.
This is going to be a big smile on your face.
But with this team, too. It's crazy.
You know what this might be? If that does happen, this will be the first time ever that Soren and Vinny have something in common.
Yeah, I didn't think
Something-
of that.
yeah.
Something they can actually agree on, right?
Don't look at me, Soren. Keep your head down.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be in the alley, but me and Soren were watching the game 1 in that 8th inning, and I thought Soren was just going to walk out and never talk to me again.
Yeah, with the Mets, man, they just have that. They just come back. They don't give up. And
They showed a stat yesterday. I think they had the most comeback wins this season.
it was like 42 or something.
It was
like that.
something
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
All year they did it. And I think yesterday they didn't have enough pitching to win that game, but today's a good off day for both teams, I think. I'm a little nervous. I don't know. First home game in like 2 weeks
You're
too. So
nervous?
yeah. I'm nervous but excited. You're nervous and like
Because
You're-
I live with you and Wiggs. Jake's an honorary Mets fan because he hates Philly, and they have Josh coming over who's another Mets fan. So in my own house, I don't feel comfortable. Like, what do you expect? Cam has to start coming over. I'm gonna have to start inviting Soren over. Like, to at least to balance the scales a little bit because I have you guys going ballistic when anything goes your way, and like,
This is a good segue into your team take now.
look, I'm gonna try and stay calm. I'm going to try.
Yeah, there's a lot of anger today.
There is
A lot of anger. You don't
lot
see
of
me getting
frustration,
angry. Yeah.
right?
It
It's
is.
just-
It is.
Yeah.
Because game 1, Red October, Philly had one of the best home records this year.
it's a little fraudulent, I think.
Apparently,
Yeah, I think it's a
apparently,
little fraudulent.
Zach Wheeler goes 7 innings of untouchable baseball. Untouchable. Probably one of his best starts of the entire season. You have Kyle Schwarber hit a home run, first at bat, and I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And then that is the entirety of the offense until the 9th inning. Like, all right, the bullpen needs to close that game out. I'm sorry. That's the biggest factor. You saw yesterday. They were up. Momentum goes back in their way, and then Nimmo hits a home run. But, like, the bullpen needs to close that game out. Hoffman looked bad. Schramm looked bad. But, all right, bullpen chokes. It happens. Our bullpen isn't the most reliant. We know that. We have more faith than we have in the past. But, like, how can you only muster 2 hits? And both of them are Kyle Schwarber. So, game 1, it's an embarrassment. Cody Clemens was the other RBI. A bench guy. I love Cody Clemens. What a dude. His first postseason hit, and that's the guy you're relying on, right? Game 2, Vientos hits a tank. I'm sorry. Vientos is balling out. And Sanchez, again, another great outing. 2 runs through 6 innings. You can take that from a starter. That is a quality start. Offense is dead. Then Alonso gets one. So it's 3-3. The Phillies get a run on. And who better than the showman to absolutely piece of baseball? Exactly what you want to see. And then Nick Castellanos ties the ball game. Have momentum. Orion Kirkering, next inning, comes in. Brandon Nimmo home run. And it just got over. It's not like he pieced it, but it just cleared the fence. I'm very curious. I know we talked about this before the show. I'm very curious on what he said. The broadcast showed that he was saying something. I know John Boy's going to do a breakdown today. I am very curious on what he said because it looked like he was talking to the dugout and then he turned to JT.
For Nimmo to get pissed, something got to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not the guy for
Nimmo's
that.
the guy who's usually cool.
Yeah, he's the calm guy.
Right. The Phillies have a great 8th inning. You take the lead. It's just, I can't muster words. Stoddard with the triple. You couldn't ask anything more. They showed the stat with Diaz in. Harper was like, I think it was 2 for 15 with 11 strikeouts. His 2 hits or home runs. Turner was let off that inning. He was like 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts. Castellanos was like 1 for 6. Stott's 2 for 5 against Diaz. Hits a triple down the line. You take the lead. JT forces him in with the fielder's choice. You take the lead. All right, 9th inning rolls around. Matt Strahm, let's get it. And again, Vientos just cleared the wall. The bullpen chokes again. Now, Cassie comes up clutch. I was telling our buddy Josh, I'm like, you might want to check in with your dad. There has to be some tragedy somewhere that he goes crazy like that. What makes me so upset with Cassie is you look at his last 3 at-bats. You look at the home run, the double down, or the knock before Stoddard's triple, and the walk-off. Those are 3 of his best at-bats the whole year. Yeah. But you look at his first at-bat, he does his stereotypical 3 breaking balls down and away, swinging like Javi Baez.
Keep booing him. Keep booing him. It only ignites the fire.
Yeah. But seriously, like, it's great that we had timely hitting yesterday. And it looked like the offense sparked. Bohm needs to figure something out. Every at-bat looks the same. First pitch, swing in, pop up in the infield. You got to put together better at-bats. Like, I didn't agree with who we got. I think Clemens should have started yesterday. I know Clemens isn't the greatest defender at third. You got to put a lefty in the lineup against Sevy. Sevy was shoving yesterday. Sosa didn't do anything. Bohm needs to figure something out. He was so good all year, and the last month he has been atrocious to the point where I don't even know if you can start him. Like, I don't know if you can start him and be confident.
I think they will, though.
They're going to have to. I'm hoping this day off resets something. You know, got the day off today. We have our best pitcher on the mound. This is the best guy we could throw out on Tuesday. Nola, if you look at his splits between the first 2 series of the postseason and the last 2 series of the postseason, the last 3 years, he is so dominant in the wild card series and the NLDS. I don't doubt in my mind that he is going to have a great start. He's going to allow a home run. He does every start. Pete's probably going to hit one 900 feet down the line. It's not going to be Pete. Pete only hits timely home runs. He'll go 0 for 3 and then hit one off the bullpen. But I think Nola's going to have a great start. I think Minaya is going to be tricky, too. I think him it forces you to play Bohm. And Bohm hasn't been hitting. I don't care lefty-righty splits. You know Marshy's going to be out for Hayes. And I think Stoddard. I don't think you can bench Stoddard. I think he has to be in the lineup. I know lefty-righty splits, you want to start Sosa. I think Stoddy has to be in the lineup. I don't think you can go any other way. This shouldn't be a series. With all due respect to the Mets, They shouldn't have made the postseason. This was not a year the Mets were supposed to be in the postseason, and you are now battling. You're putting out so much energy. So even if you advance, you run into the Dodgers or the Padres, they're losing.
Yeah.
I don't have faith at this point. I don't even have faith that we're going to escape this series with me not having gray hairs. I'm 20 years old. I'm going to be fully gray by the time. I'm going to look Don LaGreca. I sound like Don LaGreca right now the way I'm freaking out.
Could I cut in real quick?
Of course.
We got to talk about, too, the officiating for the last, like, 2 games. And I'm not even saying, like, it's, like, one way, like, Phillies are getting screwed over, like, the Mets screwed over. It has been – the zone is all over the place. Like, every player on that field has the absolute right to just, like, cuss out that, like, like, that umpire. And they all have been doing it. It's been ridiculous, the amount of four-seam fastballs that are, like, 2 inches high that have been called a strike, and then the next guy will walk up and it's a ball. Like, it makes no sense.
Stay consistent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, look, the zone on the TV – that's the one thing I don't like about broadcasts is they show the zone on the TV. It's not always accurate. Some umpires call it high, some call it in and out. And you got to think catchers are stealing strikes. That's what the art of framing is. Catchers steal strikes. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. You're calling sliders down and away that are strikes, and then the next half inning they're a ball or fastballs up in the zone. Stay consistent with your zone. Again, every umpire calls their zone a little different. At least call it consistently. Like the fact they're switching it up. Do we know if is it the same crew going to New York?
Probably. And the announcers, too. That's
the-
another story.
honestly,
I don't
yeah.
want to talk about them.
Adam, what's it? Adam Amin.
I'm not even mentioning
He's
names. No names.
yeah, he's
No names. Just not good. They're
I don't
just
see this
poor.
is why I don't like national broadcasts.
No.
First of all, I don't think they do the right homework. Brzezinski and Wainwright are arguing about which pitch to call.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Wainwright's a country singer, dude. Go back to the farm. He has a country album. Go listen to it. It's on Spotify somewhere. I know I saved it and then never touched it. But like Brzezinski's fine, but like this is why I wish for a national broadcast you had maybe a neutral play. I think I'm so upset that it's not Joe Davis. Joe Davis is one of the few national broadcasts
He's
in baseball that I really enjoy. But then you do that. You bring in Keith Hernandez. You bring in Crocker. You bring in a play-by-play or a color guy from both teams.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. Don't I get it. It's national coverage. It's not like for NBC Philadelphia. No, it's not SNY. I know it's on TBS and Fox and ESPN. So you're bringing in these other people. But it's just like they're so like you were mentioning it, and they're just so biased towards Philly.
Yeah.
Like you hear the way that Harper hits a home run, they call great, and Nimmo just clears the fence.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gone. Yeah. And then Harper, oh my God.
And again, you need to switch it up.
Yeah.
Like, get Joe Davis to call every game. Get Soren Swanson to call a game.
Soren.
Yeah, Joe Davis is doing the Padres series.
So hopefully Philly advances so I can get to hear some Joe Davis and be happy about it. But that's all I got for the Phillies. Let's move on to the rest of the MLB postseason. Kicked off. Should we do wildcard series as well?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So, I mean, the rest of the wildcard series besides the Mets, all sweeps. Padres took care of business against Atlanta. The Tigers upsetting the Astros.
Cinderella run is going to be over soon.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not probably. Definitely. And the Royals sweeping the Orioles, which is a big surprise. And honestly, it kind of leaves the Orioles in a tough spot. They won 101 games. They lost their first series last year. Come in with the expectations. Even with bringing in Corbin Burns, I think it was like 10 or 11 less losses. And again, no one won 100 games this year, so the regular season win-loss is not the biggest thing. But then you get swept again by a team who I think you're much better than.
Way better.
So it definitely leaves questions, especially with Burns going to free agency. Where the Orioles are going to go. I think they have to be spenders, but also you got to think they're going to want to extend these guys coming up. Maybe you move on from some. They have so many prospects. Even with how many guys they traded this year, they still have so many prospects. Go out and get a Garrett Crochet. Make a trading. You have the pieces. You need to build up that rotation. Because John Means, he's fine. Dean Kramer's fine. Eflin's fine. But like, it's not like you're happy. It's not like you're like, these are the guys.
Yeah,
you need a true ace and a true number two.
Yeah.
Grayson Rodriguez, solid. But again, you don't have an ace without Burns.
Yeah.
And even after Burns, I feel like you're not super confident in who your two is.
No, they have a pitching problem. I think. I mean, in the playoffs they couldn't even score a run. So, but I didn't think they were gonna get much. Like they wouldn't have beat. Who would they have played? The Yankees.
Yeah, they won one.
No. They're good, but they're not there yet.
They need pitching.
Yeah.
And again, with how many prospects they have,
Trade them for pitching. That's it.
They have the leverage to do it.
Yeah.
And like, I know Baltimore hasn't been like super big spenders. and they're going to have to focus on extending the guys they have, but maybe go out and sign a guy.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. Because you're not going to compete, especially in the postseason, without reliable pitching.
Yep.
You need an ace. You need a 2. I think you could be okay with one of the guys you already have as a 3. And we also do have to remember, the bullpen was without Felix Bautista this year. I think you add him back in the mix, that bullpen gets a lot better. But still, you need starting. That lineup is great. That lineup is going to terrorize the American League for a long time. But if you don't get pitching, you're not going to get anywhere.
Nope.
But we'll move on to the AL and NLDS. Guardians easily took Game 1 against the Tigers, 7-0. Guardians on 5. I think Detroit takes one at home. Guardians on 4.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Detroit takes one at home.
I think Detroit actually wins today.
You think?
Scooble's on the mound.
It is a Scooby day.
And then I think they lose the next 2. Their lineup's just not.
I don't know. Matt Boyd, revenge game, former
Yeah,
Tiger.
I am a revenge game guy, but
You're a big revenge game.
I just don't think the Tigers have. That's just not a lineup to have much success.
Who do they have?
So
Who do they have projected to throw on Wednesday?
Probably openers
not
again.
Even announced yet. Probably Holton once again. Holton seems to throw every other game.
Yeah.
Tigers get one. I don't think they get swept. Got Yankees and Royals. Yankees took Game 1 on Saturday. Clay Holmes with the win. Who would have thought Clay Holmes puts out a good outing?
Because he's not a closer anymore.
He's not. Yeah, yeah. Luke Weaver, what a dog.
Beast.
They got Reagan's going today against Rodon. This might be the game that Kansas City takes. I think any game with Reagan's.
Yeah.
But I'll still take Yankees in 4. And then we had the Padres series. Dodgers took Game 1. They were going crazy about. Dude, they are glazing Ohtani like crazy. I think it was Saturday. They showed the 8-hole hitter was up, and they flashed up a graphic. It was like Ohtani up in 2 batters.
Yeah.
Like that's how the lineup works. That's how baseball works.
Well, they were doing that with the Harper too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I get it. You have to do it for your big draws, but come on. But Padres absolutely.
Well, I was gonna say then you go to Game 2.
Yeah, Flaherty got shelled. Yu Darvish has been good in the postseason.
I called it too. I said Flaherty wasn't going to pitch well. Remember that?
Flaherty did well. Also, okay, so Flaherty allowed 4 through 5.
Yeah.
It's not great, but the Padres put up 3 runs in the. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. The Dodgers put up a run. So all right, 4-1 through 5, or through 5 1/3. You think the offense could go clicking? The bullpen fell apart. They allowed 4 home runs in 2 innings.
Not good.
That's not. And late in the game, Dodgers offense wasn't already clicking. But they head over to San Diego next on Tuesday. Buehler versus Michael King. Michael King had an excellent outing in the wild card series, and Buehler has not looked like himself this year.
Nope.
Buehler is not what we had come to expect from him. Again, coming off of an injury that really kept him out for about a year and a half. But does he turn it up for the postseason? Does he flip that switch? I think if you're the Dodgers, you need him to.
Yeah,
If he doesn't, you guys are packing your bags pretty quick.
Yep.
When's Yamamoto, you think, throwing Wednesday?
He pitched what?
He didn't throw Game 1. Did he throw Game 1?
Yeah, he did.
So he's
Sunday.
so who's going to throw Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? So he'll be a short rest. So they're going to save him for. Do you throw him on short rest if you lose Game 3?
I don't think he could. He can't even pitch. He could barely pitch in a week.
So you think he throws Game 5 if they make it to that
I guess,
distance?
yeah.
Who you rolling out Game 4?
I don't know. Who's even available for them? Stone? Yeah.
Well, who's going for the Padres because Musgrove's now shelved?
Cease, right? No, he pitched Game 1. Oh.
Yeah, so I mean it's gonna be Cease Yamamoto Game 5, but like who's rolling for Game 4? I don't even know. Might be a bullpen game. With how good that Padres pen is, though, they'll
be okay.
All right, so we have to make predictions right now where the series is at for both the ALDS and NLDS. Who's advancing? We'll start with the AL. JD, who do you think's advancing?
The Guardians and the Yankees. Wait, are we just this round, right?
Just this round, yes.
Yeah, Guardians and Yankees. Both in 4. Yep.
I think so too.
I'm also
I think
going to
so.
agree.
I don't have a lot of faith in the Tigers. And just the Guardians are just a way better team.
Yeah. Their pitching is nuts.
Their pen is just so deep.
It's
Too.
so
Once you
good.
get to the 5th, 6th inning, it's over if you're not winning. NL. I think it's the Padres.
Padres in 5.
I was gonna say
It's gonna go the distance,
Yeah.
but if you go to Game 5 with Cease on the mound, Cease is gonna go out there 12 punchies, have himself a day.
Yeah.
Dodgers offense really hasn't wowed me either. I know they had 7 runs in the first game, but they haven't really.
Yeah,
wowed me.
nothing crazy.
Yeah. Casual or usual Dodgers, best team in baseball, but then don't do
Flame
anything.
out.
Don't do anything
Every year.
Yeah. All right, what about the Phillies Mets series? What do you? We know what you want, but what do you think?
I really think the Mets win. I do. I think they win in 4. I'm serious.
Do you think
4?
They take
I don't even
both
think it
of
gets back to Philly. I really don't think so.
honestly, I think that's best case scenario. If they,
Oh yeah, if it
I
goes
think
back
if
to
it, I
Philly,
think if it
they're
gets
not-
back to Philly,
they're not getting another
yeah.
one, and they're not gonna win a Wheeler game again.
No.
Like that was
yeah.
stealing. That was big.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I think it's going to go to 5. So I in that fact, if Wheeler's playing, I think the Phillies are going to win in 5. I think, just with how he played in Game 1, how Wheeler played in Game 1, I just think the Phillies will get it in 5.
I really want to pick Philly, dude. Like you have no idea how much I want to pick the Phillies. And I think with Nola going tomorrow, you're putting your best foot forward. But if you do not win tomorrow, the series is over. If they do not win on a Nola day, Ranger has not looked himself in the second half. All right. The offense hasn't been cooked. Who would the Mets roll out game 4?
Quintana, he's been good.
Quintana's been
He's
exactly.
been really
Quintana's
good for
been
like
great.
a month now.
Quintana's been great.
And listen,
You
the
think
Mets
in that Mets atmosphere too, that's
That's
a
what I'm
tough
saying.
ballpark to
Yeah.
play in.
And listen, I think that yesterday, if the Mets had an extra bullpen guy, they would have won that game.
I
It
think
would be a
worked
whole
out
You
different
look at
series.
the Mets have been so deprived of a home game too.
They haven't
Played a home
yeah.
game in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
They're gonna come out in Citi Field and they are going to be loud.
Yeah,
So
they're going to
unless-
show out. yeah.
Unless Nola takes tomorrow, the series is over.
I mean, and they do well against Nola, so see what happens.
We'll check in next week, next show.
I'm gonna be screaming from my backyard next week.
I'm gonna say Mets in 4. I'm
You
so-
know,
Wow.
You know that's not what I'm rooting
No,
for.
I
You
know,
know
of course
exactly
not.
what I'm rooting
of
for.
course not. But
But-
you gotta think about it too. Like
With how shaky the pen has been, with how Bohm has been, if Bohm has a big game tomorrow, he needs to. All it takes is one hit.
yeah, that's it.
You saw all it takes is one hit. But I don't see him having the hit. I think they came up with time of hits yesterday, but they haven't been what they should be. I don't have faith. I really don't. So Mets in 4. Let's move on. We've spent way too long on this. Next segment we got. I think it's time to head down the scary street that is Soren Alley. JD's gonna slide along.
Yo, before we get into that, I just found the best stat of the entire NFL football weekend. Dak Prescott becomes the first ever
Oh, I heard about
NFL
this.
quarterback to throw an interception in the same game in 2 separate days.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Threw an interception on Sunday night
And
and Monday.
Yeah, at midnight.
He's
Yeah.
so good at being terrible.
That just makes the Steelers' loss just hurt even more now. Thanks, Cameron.
All right, Soren, how we doing today, buddy?
Well, we're all right. Thankfully, this will be a happy week for me because, like I said, my birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday.
I will be 22 coming up. So parents are definitely going to be coming up, celebrating. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to that on Thursday. So
Maybe diving into a little bit of the sauce.
yeah,
Some apple juice,
yeah.
Some adult, some no juice, as some would say. But what else you got for the alley, man?
Man, the Phillies need to win Wednesday.
Well, they
Yeah.
play tomorrow, so they
Well,
need to win
oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
first.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, we were lucky to get a win in that game.
Yeah, yesterday. Like
Very
they
lucky.
they escaped. They didn't win. They escaped.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm hoping that we're not going to be frustrated come next week. But I would not be surprised if that is the case.
Yeah, I definitely would be frustrated too.
Yeah, game 1
Because,
was
you
tough,
know,
Soren.
Yeah, me and Corey were watching the game at the bar. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Just say he was a little
the bull-
unhappy.
The bullpen was falling apart. Things were not going right. And, yeah, the bullpen just fell apart.
Yeah. It was.
That was
tough,
the main
man.
story.
Yeah.
But I would say my prediction I mean, I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about this, but my prediction for the AL series would be the Guardians and the Yankees.
Okay.
And then I would actually like to see the Padres square up against the Phillies again. I think that would be another interesting series. But I'm
You're worried right now.
I think LA is overhyped.
They are, for sure.
With Shohei Ohtani. I mean, come on. Like, let's give some credit to Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, they
for
missed a lot of
once.
the season, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give him some credit.
Yeah, but let's, like I said, I hope next week when you come on for Soren Alley, you're doing backflips, you're ripping your shirt off. He's like, I'm hoping it's in good reaction and not me and you crying on camera.
Yeah, last couple of weeks, just the team takes, man.
That's what
just
I'm
been
saying.
tough.
What's happened, man?
Yeah.
First team takes, we were all fired up, and since then it's just depression.
Yeah, and frustration. Wait until we get to fantasy freakouts.
That's what I'm saying. We're in like week 5 of the NFL season, week 6 or 7 of college football. We're getting to the end of regular season or MLB season, so like that's kind of warranted with feelings running high. But like, it's just so depressing.
Yeah.
Like Soren's walking around the comm department, moping, just sad.
He doesn't even have the energy or the motivation to even get his laps in, or like get
Soren
anything.
still owes like 572 laps.
It's crazy for you to say that, though.
I mean, you
It's
still
crazy.
Soren, I've been giving you laps since my freshman year. You gotta get to work, buddy. I told you, Sister Mary Perez signed off on it, and so did Lisa Laurie. You do not get your diploma unless you run your laps. So unless you're doing it at graduation, it's a lot of laps, man.
We'll figure it out.
You
Let's
better
just-
figure
let's-
it out. And
let's
figure
just
it
say
out
that.
fast.
But anyways, I am happy about my fantasy team this week.
It's good.
Got a little bit of a boost.
I'm glad, Soren. I'm so glad.
Must be
Only
nice.
thing I'm a little worried about Devon Achan. That kind of a little bit concerned me.
Yeah, but they're going into a bye, so they'll be all right. If they were playing next week, he wouldn't
Yeah.
play. But I think him coming out of a bye, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then, Tua will get close to returning. Probably not. But
Yeah. I definitely did need the win this week.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, no frosted tips for Soren. I think that'd be so funny. Frosted tips.
Yeah, but like I said, I was on a bad losing streak the last couple of games, but I think we had actually a couple of players stand out to me. Michael Pittman Jr.,
Okay.
big standout. Also, another guy I picked off of waivers just recently that went off and had a great game, Josh Downs.
Josh Downs did have
Josh
a very good
Downs,
game
yeah.
He had
with
a very good
Joey
game.
Flack.
Do
Uncle
you, see
Flacco.
do you see how fast Flacco was running? I
Flacco
think it was
was-
the next gen stats, like 18 miles an hour he was running.
People were saying,
I'm like, bro,
people
hold
were
on a
saying
minute.
that's the fastest he's run in like a long time.
That's the fastest he's run ever, and I don't think that there's no way he's moving at
I'm like, wait
He
a
was
minute.
moving at like -12.
Well, hold on. He's running to keep his career alive.
He looks like he was running underwater. That's what he looked like. He was not moving. It looked like he was running in a pool. Like he looks so slow.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Colts Jags game was pretty crazy to watch.
Speaking of your fantasy team, I just want to put this out there. You made the worst fantasy trade I've ever seen, Soren.
Okay, all right. Let's
there's-
admit it. Let's admit it. Geno Smith for Jake Elliott was the worst trade
You made it.
in the entire
no,
league.
let's break it down.
That
like
was
Mel
the worst
Kiper.
trade.
Yes, let's break it down.
Corey Ive, he got an incredible backup in Geno Smith.
Let's break this down from like a
Soren wanted Jake Elliott because he wants a backup kicker.
yeah. So
He wants an extra kicker. I'm like,
But
go
here-
right ahead.
here's the
Please,
thing.
please
Here's the
do.
thing. You didn't need to trade Geno Smith. You do realize there's like 17, it's probably like 20 other kickers available in fantasy, right?
Right.
On the waiver wire that you could have
No,
got.
yeah.
You picked the 31st ranked kicker who was on a bye. You see it, Soren, you hear me week in and week out rage at Sirianni for not taking the points. Why are you taking the Eagles?
And you're an
kicker?
Eagles fan too. You
Because-
just said
No,
Sirianni's got to be fired.
Because Sirianni doesn't take the field goal points.
So why are you getting Jake Elliott? That's the question, Soren. Why are you getting the
That's
worst
what-
kicker in fantasy? You're better off picking up a kicker who wasn't on a team.
Just to have his name, I guess, on the roster as an Eagles fan.
Soren's barred for making any more points.
Yeah, I'm ashamed.
You should be.
Listen.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Listen, Soren, I'll give you the Saints defense for Lamar Jackson if you want. We can make that trade happen.
No, listen. I admit to my own mistakes,
Do you?
and I made a bad one.
You definitely did.
No,
That's awesome.
listen.
So guess what? I'll give you again. I'll give you the Saints defense. I'll take back Jake Elliott.
The 49ers defense is solid. They're balling out. Have you seen the last 2 weeks for the 49ers defense?
Yeah.
They're playing good.
Soren, they lost yesterday.
No, I'm saying I know they lost, but still the defense, helped them out a little bit with a.
All right, Soren, that's all the time we have for you today. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right.
And enjoy going back down the alley. I'm gonna start putting a timer on him. What did you think of the alley, John?
I missed like the first 2 minutes of it, but it was very interesting. I like how he just clowned himself. That was pretty good.
It was much,
I traded for Jake Elliott. He's not doing good. You're contradicting yourself, Soren.
He said I needed a backup kicker. Sirianni doesn't take the
kick
points.
field goals, yeah.
Buddy, come on.
But you're also nervous about the Phillies? That's the part I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nervous about the Phillies.
He's shaking in his. Well, he's not wearing boots.
In his
Balances.
New Balances, yeah.
Not sponsored.
With his VT pants.
I was about to say,
I like
shaking
those
in his
Champion,
VT.
and his champion hoodie.
Yeah, I do like the pants, but you got to get the VT hoodie next time. So you got like the onesie
gotta wear the
going.
You
Yeah, I
gotta wear the
got like the
jumpsuit.
jet one going.
Yeah.
You gotta get what are like the oversized like blanket hoodies, the Snuggies or whatever.
Oh, the
Get like the
Snuggies.
VT Snuggie.
VT. What other teams does he like?
Oh yeah,
College.
he's
loves
done
college teams.
Michigan. He has
Maryland, right?
Yeah, Maryland. He's got the
Penn
Maryland
State.
decal on his car.
State.
Yeah,
Thing is,
that's
Penn
right.
State- yeah, he
that's
just-
right.
It's
It's like the Infinity Stones he's collecting.
It's the endless. Soren's wardrobe is just endless college teams. He probably has North Dakota State in there somewhere.
He just roots for like the mid Big Ten and ACC teams.
Nah, he's got to start getting like the mid-major schools. McNeese State. That's who you got to get next. All right, let's move on to some football. Want to start with college or NFL this week?
We need a break from NFL right now.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
start with
let's do
college.
college.
Especially
Yeah,
with how,
I'm just gonna get
yeah.
more upset
Yeah,
just thinking about the
just
especially
Steelers.
with how crazy this weekend was.
Yeah.
7 top 20 or 6 top 25 teams falling. We'll start with Friday. UNLV in a shootout with Syracuse. Kyle McCord, New Jersey native, actually slinging it. Threw the ball 63 times.
My God.
Crazy. But UNLV suffering their first loss of the season. We'll work our way up to the biggest upset. Technically, Mizzou was an underdog coming into this game, but I don't think we expected Texas A&M to beat them by 30.
No, they got
points.
flat out
They
pieced
got
up.
bodied, and they suffered. They're down in the standings.
I enjoyed every second.
and A&M, dude, they catapulted because of it. They
15.
Yeah,
it's
they're
great.
for real, man. They really are.
They had that tough loss to start the year. Since then, dude, they've been balling.
Really
out.
good. Yeah.
I was confused on why they were ranked last year, but I mean they're 5-1. They're 3-0 in the toughest conference in football. We'll take it. Michigan getting beaten, revenge game by Washington for the national championship last year. Michigan already with 2 losses, so they need a lot of help if they're going to make the CFP. They have to win out and take the Big Ten. They play Ohio State, so that'll definitely help them. They got 4 ranked games at the moment.
They're done.
They play,
they're done.
They play at Illinois after their bye.
Oh.
Then they're home against Michigan State, which is always the big rivalry game. Home against Oregon, trap game for Oregon, I feel. At Indiana, who's been insane this year. Northwestern, and then Ohio State. So I think they need to win out, and they need to win the Big 12. That's the only way in. If they lose next week, though, they could play spoilers for a couple other teams. They could play spoilers for Oregon and for Ohio State. Ohio State hasn't beat them. I think it's going on 4 years now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So they could definitely play spoilers for that. USC suffering their second loss to, John, who'd they lose to?
I don't say it like that, but Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Dude, you know who's on that team, right?
Who?
Marcus Major.
Marcus Major.
Yeah,
What's your Marcus
Our favorite
Major?
guy. He's our favorite guy.
Love Mark. Did he do anything big in that game? Probably not.
Not really.
Marcus Major. Marcus Major, 7 carries for 37 yards.
He's just a
Solid
cool
game.
dude.
2 catches for 34.
There we go.
Solid game. What's your Marcus Major? Yeah, USC suffering a big loss. Kind of sinks their season. Kind of in the same boat as Michigan. Need to win out and get some help in conference. They only have 2 ranked games the rest of the way. Again, depending on how the rankings shake out. They have Penn State this weekend. Need to win. They're home, which is good. Penn State 4th. Crazy to me that they're number 4, but obviously a big shakeup. They finished the season with Notre Dame. Wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska gets ranked again. Same thing with Washington. So they could have some power points if they. But again, same situation. They need to win out. Don't really see it happening. SMU upsetting Louisville on the road. I'm high on these Mustangs, man. Louisville kind of I know that's hurting you and Notre Dame because those were supposed to be power points, but
the Texas A&M that was
helping
huge.
you now.
Need them to keep winning every game.
Every single one. SMU with the upset on the road. The second biggest upset is Tennessee losing on the road to Arkansas. Crazy.
That was surprising.
That was nuts.
And it comes down to the final minutes too. Final minute that they had the lead. Malachi Singleton, 11-yard rushing touchdown. They plummeted for it, and that was big. But the biggest one of the weekend, who would have thought that number 1 ranked Alabama coming off of beating the Georgia Bulldogs? Maybe it's because we did the chant last week. Maybe it's because we did the Bama chant. They lose to Vandy. The first time Vandy has ever beat a number 1. And I think it was the first time Bama lost to Vandy in 23 years. If I'm not
I think it was a long time. Listen, after Saban's comments? I mean, I think they were kind of asking for it.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe that. How are you coming off your biggest win of the season?
Yeah.
And then again on the road, tough game, SEC. I understand all the, but Vandy, of all teams you're gonna lose to in the SEC, Vandy, and dude, rip the goalpost out, carry it down the streets. Our one buddy Josh sent us a video of him seeing them walk down the streets with the goalpost. Freaking hilarious.
That was crazy.
But
yeah, it was
I'm
crazy.
in awe.
I know.
And especially ahead of the biggest. We've been hyping this weekend up for so freaking long.
Yeah.
Of how many good games are. There's Red River on Saturday. We got Texas, Oklahoma. Bama and South Carolina is not an easy game. Penn State, USC.
Ohio State.
And Oregon.
That's going to be.
BYU and Arizona. I think Tennessee and Florida is an underrated game. Ole Miss and LSU. Colorado and K-State is a game that I think at the beginning of the season we thought Colorado was kind of we thought
played
they
well.
They've been playing great ball, and this is if they win this game, that catapults them into being ranked. That catapults them into being a favorite in the Big 12.
Yeah.
There is a lot of big games this weekend. Iowa State's in a trap spot against West Virginia. Like, there's a
this is what we live for. We live for this.
awesome.
This is what we live for.
Even Pitt and Cal. I think Cal had a great game this week. They lost. They lost to Miami, but I think they could upset Pitt on the road. Like, this is a great weekend. We're seeing the rankings get completely shaken. New number 1, the Texas Longhorns. Bama, surprised how little they dropped. They dropped 6 spots. They're now 7th. I would have thought they would drop more. I think the reasoning behind it is because they had beaten Georgia last week. You can't drop them too far.
Yeah.
But still.
I still don't agree that Bama was number 1 last week's ranking. I still don't. I think Texas still should have been, even though that wasn't a big win for Texas.
It was purely because of beating Georgia. That's why they won. So they went from 1 to 7, Tennessee dropping to 8. The biggest jumper is Texas A&M jumping from 25 to 15. They were tied for 25th last week too.
Yeah.
Notre Dame jumping 3 spots, tied with Iowa at 11. We got through a tie at 18. Indiana jumping up 5 spots. Oklahoma 1 spot, and Kansas State 2 spots. Mizzou dropping all the way to 21. Michigan all the way to 24. USC just missed staying on the board. USC, Louisville, and UNLV, the 3 teams dropping out. Fortunately for Matt Wiggs, Rutgers taking a loss. They were getting close. They were starting to climb up, getting some points, but don't really see Rutgers being ranked anytime soon.
No.
But it's going to be a great weekend in college football. I'm happy Boise State's 17. We'll get some Moi Gois at some point, a little bit down the line. We're now nominating our first player to the Moi Goi Hall of Fame, and
That's
that is
right.
Ashton Jeanty. Played one half of football, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. Does not have 100 carries this season, and has over 1,000 yards.
Like what, 14, 13 touchdowns?
I believe it's
Yeah.
That's crazy.
13. Yeah, but I just
Yeah, he would have been Moi Goi. I mean, he was. If I was here, I would have
the new
talked
rule-
about him.
The new rule is if you get nominated as a Moi Goi twice, you're inducted into the Moi Goi Hall of Fame. Has 16 touchdowns.
Oh my
16.
god.
And this is
16.
like he did a lot more receiving last year. He's not been in the passing game at all because you don't need to. You just give him the ball and let him run. He's had 2 games where he's had less than 15 carries and has still had over 100 yards.
It's wild.
He has
That's
one,
absolutely
He has
wild.
one game with 0 touchdown. What a fraud. Do you think at this moment he is the front runner for the Heisman? I think Milroe losing to Vandy. I think
so,
that
yeah.
really hurts his case. He had a fine game, stats wise.
Yeah, I just think that you have to take into account who he's playing compared
That's
to
true.
That's
yeah.
fair.
these other guys, and he's not a quarterback. So that's just
Those
like,
are the
that's-
2 things that are hurting him,
yeah.
but also he's putting up video game numbers.
No, yeah,
He's going to finish the season with probably about 2,000. He has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 regular season games, conference championship, and then if they make the CFP or they play in a bowl game. So he has 9 games left. He's at 1,000 yards
yeah.
now. Dude, are we thinking that he could potentially run for 3,000 yards? It's definitely if he keeps this rate up, he's there.
oh yeah.
He's going to play tougher
Definitely.
opponents. They play at UNLV. I think UNLV will play a decent game. Obviously, different road games are always difficult, but like he's going to be on pace for 3,000 yards. What do we think the number he has to get for him to win the Heisman? How many yards? How many touchdowns? I think 2,500 all-purpose yards.
I think 30 touchdowns.
He's halfway there.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
halfway
I-
there. That's what I'm saying. Like,
maybe a little more. I don't know.
In
It's gonna be
5
tough.
games, he is halfway to the number that we think that he needs to get to. Like, again, it depends on how the rest of the season shakes out. I think if Bama misses the playoffs, Milroe has to be out of that I think if your team misses the playoffs, you're out of the conversation unless you're Boise State. Because again, he is their entire offense.
Yeah.
Again, Cam Moore's been fine, but they've kind of been escaping games. He's been one of the top
He's
guys.
been great. Yeah,
Yeah. I think
we'll get to him.
I think Milroe's been great, but again, they lost to Vandy. I'm assuming they're probably going to take another loss. They might miss the playoffs if they keep losing. I think Jeanty has to be, and again, it's dependent on what Boise State does the rest of the year, but I really don't see them losing another game. They play at Hawaii this week. They're going to have to pull him at halftime again. He's going to run for 300 yards, and then they're like, all right, you're done. Call it a day. I'm very curious on how he's going to do in the NFL because he's not going to put up these numbers.
No,
Actually, I'm not sure though because you see it takes 9 guys to tackle him.
he might not even survive the NFL.
I was about to say with how
the
much
amount
he's
of running,
with how much
yeah.
he's doing now, that's what I'm curious about. But going to go down as one of the greatest running back seasons by the end of the year
Ever.
for this year.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to the NFL. We talked about the Pip Pip Cheerio game of the week. Got another one coming up next week. Got 3 straight Jacksonville Jaguars, their second home over in London. Who do they play next week?
Bears?
They do. That is such a boring game. I'm not waking up early for that. I watch the highlights.
Caleb Williams
I don't care.
playing better.
But honestly,
he
though,
looked good.
They did look really good this week. Had that connection with DJ Moore, but it was also the Panthers. The Panthers' defense has been awful. Not that Jacksonville's
they stink.
not that Jacksonville's much better. How soon do we think we see Bryce Young again?
I don't know.
I brought this up yesterday because Andy Dalton came out. They won that game. They looked great. The offense had looked like yesterday. It looked awful. Bears defense is tough on the road. I understand, but how much longer do we see Bryce Young? I would give it like 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
I think you have to get him back out there. You can't bench him the rest of the year. You're going to kill his confidence, and then at that point, just trade him. Let's move on. But no, we honestly had a bunch of really good games. The Colts and Jaguars game turned into a shootout. Jacksonville first win, I think it was 315 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something
Finally
something crazy.
got a win.
I thought they were going to lose
And
that
Lawrence-
game. I'm
They were
like,
trying to lose.
They were trying to lose. Lawrence looked great too. Lawrence
he
had
did.
his best game in a long time. Tank Bigsby going crazy for legitimately 0 reason.
Soren talked about Joe Flacco, right? Or is that just?
He talked about Josh Downs.
Oh yeah,
Josh
yeah. He's
Downs,
on
yeah.
my team too. We'll get there, but
Yeah.
Joe Flacco looked pretty good.
How
Yeah.
about the Bengals Ravens game? Like
That
was
was the best game of
exceptional.
the day.
yeah, that was a
100%.
really good
That was
game.
awesome.
And it looked like both teams in OT were trying to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texans, Bills. Texans went up early, but Bills fought their way back. Texans able to hold on. Kyrie Fairburn, dog. Cam shaking his head over there.
Sean McDermott deserves to be fired for that
Yeah,
game. that last 20 seconds of football, if Scott Hansen doesn't know what's going on, you don't deserve a job in the NFL anymore. Like, I don't know how, like, you don't run the ball with, they have 3 timeouts left.
Yeah.
You throw the ball every single time. Like, what are you doing? Plus, like, it's not even like Josh Allen should have been throwing the ball. He shouldn't even be out on the field.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was definitely concussed.
Yeah, he was knocked out. There was no reason for him to be back on that field. Sean McDermott's job should be up for.
They were like, yeah, some smelling salts, you'll be okay. And I was like, what? Imagine if that was Tua.
Oh,
Yeah, like
Can we get a check on? Do we know if he's even alive right
he's good. He was at
yeah,
the game.
yeah, he was on the
good.
sideline.
was
Yeah,
there. Clapping.
Oh,
You know,
one
he's just cheering
question.
the guys
Is
on.
was this game 3 of IR for Tua?
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they're off
So
next
they're
week.
off next week.
And then they
IR
play.
week
Yeah.
week 7.
Yeah.
So he could be back by week 8.
I
Which
still don't
which
think
they
he's gonna
need.
be back.
Yeah,
They
it's-
desperately need it. They came away with a win yesterday. Snoop Huntley
That game was,
didn't do anything.
No, that game was just putrid. We were like, why are they
I
going
I do want to. They did show it a ton.
Yeah, it was
on.
brutal.
I didn't even watch the game because I'm like, I'm not.
Exactly.
It's just
It's
not
the
worth it.
mid
But
off.
the Dolphins the Patriots are now 1-4. Brissett got a little banged up. How soon do we see Drake May?
I actually just saw this when I took a break for Soren.
Mhm.
Drake May might be starting this week.
Thank
Really?
God, dude.
Against the Texans, though, I don't think that's the right move.
Oh yeah,
I don't think that's the team you want to.
I think he's
Run him
gonna.
out
I
there
think he's
for
gonna
it.
get
Who
killed.
do you want to
Yeah.
run him against?
I don't think the Texans. I don't think that's smart.
Maybe against
The Jaguars.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the Jags.
You want his first start to be over in London?
Yeah, why not?
That's already a tough situation to be in.
Yeah.
And then the Jets after that, so you don't want to start him there. And you're not waiting until November to put him in
Yeah.
against the Titans' sneaky defense,
Yeah.
Bears' sneaky defense. You got to start him
I
sooner.
mean,
or
listen,
later.
if he can handle the Pip Pip Cheerio game, then I think he'll be good at in
I
Foxborough. I think.
I just don't know. I just don't think this week is the week to put him in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Texans defense is pretty good.
You know, and then the whole situation with Jabril Peppers now, I
Yeah, they
just
got
think that team
issues.
is.
Yeah.
They're in
Listen, the
It's all
Patriots.
over.
I enjoy every second of it. The Patriots are not that team.
This
might-
is
it might
not
be,
the Patriot way.
I
This
love
is-
it.
Maybe they're putting May in. They're trying to hide the bad news of Peppers with the good
Yeah.
news. Hey, our
Oh,
shiny,
Drake
our
May's-
shiny, our shiny new rookies out there. Cardinals stealing a game
Sorry,
from the
Ben.
Niners. Yeah, no, Ben's.
Yeah, that's
He's
second
worried
half.
about the Yankees
Jeez.
right now. He's focused on the Yankees. But Cardinals stealing a game from the Niners. Niners not
Kyler
looking
Murray,
good,
man.
That one really annoyed me.
That was
Kyler
not-
Murray's rushing touchdown, like he's celebrating at like the 40,
Yeah,
like
he was like,
running. He's like,
yeah, he was
like,
gone.
oh my god.
Packers holding on to the win against the Rams. Giants with a win in Seattle. Never easy to play there, but
Couldn't
pick
believe
up
that one.
their second road win. They're 2-1
Yeah.
on the road. And Dallas, we won't talk about last night. Too
Yeah, we've talked about it enough.
But I do want to mention, Bears get a win. Commies get their 4th win. And the Broncos get their 3rd win. So all 3 rookie quarterbacks with 3 or more wins at this point. We checked in the first couple weeks. I think it's still unanimous. Jaden Daniels is the best
Yeah.
quarterback of the
Still,
class. So
yeah.
far. So far, again, Drake May's coming out. Maybe Drake May lights it up. Throwing it to Jalen Polk. Hunter Henry. But no, seriously, like the rookies really didn't have these expectations of them doing this well this early in the season.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is looking better. I mean, Bo Nix getting in
He's-
Sean Payton's face, like
Yeah.
he's getting a little ballsy
he's
now.
got that swagger. And honestly, they host the Chargers this week. They're at the Saints on a short week. Then the Panthers. I think they could still be a above 500 team in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
very good squad. And then it's gonna get tough quick. Then they're at the Ravens. Then they're at the Chiefs. Then they're against the Falcons. So they're gonna be above 500 for a little bit longer. Not much longer, but a little bit longer.
You know, Broncos country, prove them wrong.
They are riding. Well, they're no longer riding.
They're galloping right now.
Yeah, Russ is doing high knees on the sideline. So emergency QB. Dude, we're gonna get to see number 1 versus number 2 soon. Bears have Jacksonville over in the Pip Pip Cheerio game of the week next week. Then they're on their bye. But when they come back at the Commanders, that was a game I didn't think I'd be excited for. I'm now really fired up for that game.
Yeah.
I think with
Fun.
how well Daniels
Yeah.
has been playing, And he's going to go against a tough defense in the Bears. And Williams starting to get some traction. Honestly, that could be a game where, they're doing the Rookie of the Year voting. If Williams starts to close that gap and he wins this game, could hurt Daniels' case in winning Rookie of the Year. Right now, it is Daniels, but there's still a lot of football left.
Quickly, though, shout out to the two rookies that you just mentioned, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, both, once again, breaking records this weekend. I know the previous weekend, Caleb Williams became the first rookie quarterback to win both of his first home games. He won 3 now, so that's a new record that's never been done before. And then Jaden Daniels, 1,000 passing yards, 250 rushing yards in his first 5 career games. That is also a rookie NFL record.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. This rookie class, there was a lot of questions, especially with how USC looked with Williams last year. Didn't know. Again, all the hype around him. He was the consensus #1 for 2 years. Heisman winner. But we didn't know how it would translate, especially going to the Bears. I know the offense was stacked, but it's still Chicago Bears usually never have good quarterbacks. And same thing with Daniels. Is he going to be able to take these hits? How's he going to do? Washington, again, with Kingsbury, the offense has looked great, but they traded away Jahan Dotson. They brought in a 30-year-old Austin Eckler. Didn't seem like their offense was really going to be all that. I think they proved that so far they are all that. He's gotten that connection with Terry McLaurin, which I think is something that is huge for a rookie quarterback to develop with the #1 receiver. Yeah. You saw Williams starting to do it this week. Hopefully Bo Nix can get a better #1 receiver than Sutton down the line. But I think it's crazy. I think it is the connection that Daniels has with that offense and how well they have been going. I can tell you, I did not project that at all. They have no business being this good.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I just think this is the first time in a long time where all the rookie quarterbacks
have been having success.
But they were positioned to have success, I think.
Yeah.
Not as much as this.
Nick's not so much.
But he has Sean Payton as his coach.
You get a coach like Payton, and you have that Broncos defense.
Yeah, that defense is no joke.
The Bears, that offense is stacked.
Yeah, the defense is
I think it was
really
so fun.
good.
We were watching the game yesterday, and I'm like, wait, I completely forgot Keenan Allen was a person.
Yeah.
He exists.
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
But that offense is stacked. And Daniels, you have a good OC. Honestly, Daniels had the worst situation. You think about it.
I just think the coaching was good. Cliff
Kingsbury,
and Dan Quinn's a pretty good coach, I think.
Yeah.
But also, the defense isn't as good as it. It's not a good defense at all.
He's coaching them up, though.
He's been coaching them up for sure. But the defense is not as good as what they should be, especially with how much they lost in the past year between trades and guys leaving in free agency. And again, McLaurin being your only real threat. I'm not scared of Austin Eckler. I know Brian Robinson had a good game yesterday, but he's his ceiling. He's kind of already reached his ceiling. I don't have a ton of faith in that offense, but he's been with what he's been given. He's been great. Now he has a big test coming up this week. He's at the Ravens. That is a big.
Tough.
If you want to prove that you are legit, I still think he's been too good. He played early season Bengals. Played the Giants. I mean, took care of business against the Cardinals. But you want to prove that you're legit in this league, beat a team like the Ravens on the road. They already have a couple road wins against the Bengals and the Cardinals. I think if he wins this game, I think that solidifies him as the top rookie in the class. I think even if he puts out a good performance, it solidifies him. Mm-hmm. I think if he combines for about 250 yards between the ground and the air, maybe closer to 300, a couple tuds, it's Daniels for sure. But another good week of football coming up. Very excited. Honestly, the season started, I wasn't very excited. Eagles are still killing me. But each week I'm getting more and more and more excited for the NFL. Like we said, Pip Pip Cheerio game number 2 next week. It's going to suck. A couple of good teams on buys. Vikings, Chiefs, Rams, and Dolphins. I know the records don't reflect for a couple of those teams, but 2 currently undefeated teams. We can see what happens tonight. Going to be on bye. Miami's offense always brings us. I think the Rams really needed the bye with how banged up their offense is. But we got a lot of. I think the most exciting game is Bills Jets next week on Monday Night Football. I can't wait for your Monday night pick for next week, JD.
Yeah. Well, you already know who I'm taking.
Oh yeah,
Can't go against them.
Do we?
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait. You have to tune in the next episode to see. See your picks.
Yeah, we'll see.
But let's move on. It's time for some fantasy freakouts. I would love to see you try and do that scream right now. I would like to see any of us do our screams from that when we recorded that. 'Cause we don't have the voice. I'll kick us off. If there's no Monday Night Football, I would be locked in as 1 and 2. I've officially won one league, unless Olave goes for, I think he needs 80 points or 70. He needs to go completely unheard of nuclear. Lost my other league to your brother, John, by 2 points. So
Oh, really?
And I benched Kyler for Jane Daniels.
You're not going to hear the end of that.
I know. It was a week I was projected to beat him by a ton too. If I had started, Kyler would have won, but I thought Daniels was gonna. Daniels had a good week, but Kyler just had a slightly better week.
And he was 1-3 too, so that was a big win.
Yeah, it was good
Wow.
for him. Brees Lightning. That's a loser name, Ryan. Figure it out. But I won my main money league again, unless Olave wins. Unless Olave goes crazy. I need a lot of help tonight. Got 1 Saint for me and 2 Saints against me. I have Derek Carr and Olave against me, and I have Super Camario. I'm down by, I believe, 5. So I need Kamara to do the entirety of the offense tonight. Derek Carr has started to come back down to earth a little bit, which is nice. And Trent McDuffie is going to be shadowing Olave. So if McDuffie plays how he's been playing, you have a chance. I think ESPN has me project at like 32% chance of coming back. I think it's possible. As long as they don't take some pills out, right?
I think
Good,
so.
good.
Yeah.
So I can't take anything away from Kamara. So Kamara shouldn't go crazy. I did make a trade with Corey this week, acquiring George Kittle, and oh boy, did he ball out for me this week. 20.4 points across my other leagues. DJ Moore having a great week. Kyler Murray. DeAndre Swift having a really big week, even though they still gave touchdowns to Rashawn Johnson, which is annoying. Chuba Hubbard having a solid game, 17.5. I think the biggest thing I'm happy about is Tyreek finally having a little bit of something. Still went under his projection, only had 12.9, but it finally showed that they're going to try and force to give him the ball. He's your best player. Give him the freaking ball.
Yeah.
Even with Christian Gonzalez on him, throw it his way and he'll make the most of it. So he's showing some signs of life. And again, they're going into the bye, so hopefully they can rest up. Hopefully another week with Huntley as quarterback, he can build a connection a little bit more, maybe come out of the bye having a crazy week. A couple guys who I want to scream at. Debo, you stink. DK Metcalf, hold the freaking football. No more fumbles. And Starvin Marvin was starving yesterday. He was very hungry. Did not look his way that much, just 5.6. 2 big players that I'm hoping they're good after the bye. Aaron Jones and Devon Achane. Both of them started this week. Both of them got hurt for me. Both going to the bye, though. Jones, I believe, was a hip injury. I think that's what they said it was. But again, he's on bye. And then Devon Achane, concussion, should be back after the bye as long as it's not lingering too much. I believe he'd be out of protocol by at least midweek following the bye. Maybe not fully involved in the offense. Maybe they split him with Mostert for that week, but something for me to monitor, and hopefully they come back and keep winning me games because I want to win money.
I'm just trying to not get last at this point.
Try not to get frosted tips. Corey, how do we do this week?
So there is an upside in my other league. I have, I think, 1 playing tonight. I'm projected to put up 185 total points and win by 100.
Maybe you could steal some of those points.
So I'll move to 4-1 in that league after losing last week. Now the Marywood League, it's just causing me great depression at this point. And I think I want to sell the team at this point. I picked up Justin Fields in a trade with you. I didn't want to give up Kittle, but I really had no other choice because you had no tight ends and I had no quarterback.
We had Anthony Richardson, who didn't play this week.
Oh, yeah. And let me see multiple 2 to 3 interception games again.
From the bench.
But yeah, Fields gave me 16. That was, not bad. I did also pick up Charbonnet and Juwan Jennings from Soren. Also got Geno Smith for Elliott, as we mentioned before.
The single-handed worst trade of the year.
And I played my brother, who was 1-3. Shout out to Kevin. And
no shout out to Kevin. He destroyed you.
Still, he had Jamar Chase, who gave him 41, and somehow Tucker Kraft balls out with 25. I saw that second touchdown. I shut the game off. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. There's no way I'm winning this week. But of all people, Darnell Mooney gives me 31 out of everybody on my team. Darnell Mooney balls out for me, but still, I'm depressed. 1-4, losing 4 in a row. I think Soren's gonna win. I think Ben is gonna win. So I'm pretty much dead last, sole possession of last right now at 1-4. So AJ Brown, Pacheco, can you please, I don't know, take something to get healthy? Like I need
Pacheco's-
something.
Pacheco's
Like
still a
I need
while
help
away.
right now.
The other thing is you do play Ben next week. So
Yeah, but still, I played
we got-
Kevin's team this week.
We got the toilet bowl next week.
Like I played Kevin this week, and how bad my team was. Like, man, oh man, I don't know. My team needs to get healthy, like bad. Like I feel like I'm coaching a high school football team right now.
Yeah, you don't have it easy. After Ben, you have Wiggs,
Yep.
Jack, and then
Yeah, so I'm just looking to avoid last at this point. Like I know I'm losing money, but
I did say to you last week, I'm like, you have to shift the focus. No longer focus on winning a championship. Just focus on not getting last and maybe.
I've been this way since like week 3. Like it's been a couple weeks now. So yeah.
All right, JD, what do we got?
Let's not talk about the Marywood League. I got absolutely killed by Jack. That was just not
Good job, Jack.
great job.
Thumbs
Yeah,
up
my
from-
my team. I also think my team's very fraudulent. I'm gonna be 2-3, but should be.
Not a good 2 and 3.
No, I have like the least amount of points in the league, so that's not good. But my other league, big upset. I'm 1-3. I got a huge win here. I'm up by 9 right now with the Chiefs defense tonight. He's got Blake Groupie, so hopefully
Blake Groupie legacy game.
Hopefully not. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him, but hope not tonight. Tucker Kraft, Corey, I picked him up. 2 touchdowns for me.
That's
Josh
awesome.
Downs, Soren, 16 points. Josh Jacobs finally scored a touchdown. But I think in that league I'm going to start winning a lot more games. The Marywood League, I don't know. Not much faith in that team.
I think me and you are just trying to avoid last place.
Yeah, like I'm
I
2-3, but I'm just not. The team's just not good. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not clicking.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add before we move on: Mark Andrews finally getting a target. Who would have thought? Who would have thought
Yeah.
that Mark Andrews would have finally got a ball thrown in his direction? First catch in 3 weeks. But you want to know who they targeted instead of him? They went to likely at least Charlie Kohler. Why?
He kind of
Why?
looks like you though.
Yeah, it looks like me if I was, he looks like me if I was clean shaven. I hate you, Charlie Kohler. They say, in the post-game press conference, he was like, "Yeah, everyone forgets about the fat white boy when you're focused on Andrews and likely." Let's move on to our next segment. It is time for Moi Goi of the week.
Wait, is that your Goi?
No, I thought that was your Goi.
No, that's
Moi Goi of the week.
I've been trying to avoid talking about this game for this pure reason. I got Kirko Chains as Moi Goi of the week.
You like that? You like that?
I indeed like that. What a historic game. What an historic game. He was doing the swag and surf down in Atlanta after the
Right,
game.
yeah, his post game, bro. That was that was just
A
awesome.
huge divisional win on Thursday Night Football
Yep.
against the Bucks, breaking Matt Ryan's passing yard record on the night that he was inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor. That game put him 15th all time for the most passing yards in a single game, threw for about a 73% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown, and 508 total yards in a game. Kirko Chains having himself a game and a season, proving that that Atlanta offense just needed a quarterback. Drake London is legit. Kyle Pitts finally has a good quarterback to throw to him. Again, he had goose egg last week, but looked good this week. Yeah, Kirko Chains. Let's go, baby.
You like that? You like that?
Good soundboard ad. JD.
I like the quarterback theme here. We got all quarterbacks. I'm not going to spoil yours, Corey,
Oh,
but I like it. I'm going to go with the college level, Cam Ward. I know many people probably didn't watch that game because it ended at like 3 in, but they were down 35-10 in late into the third. Cam Ward led a huge comeback for Miami. He threw for, over 430 yards. That was a big win for Miami, too. They're number 6 now. Yep, the U. He has 20 touchdowns already in 6 games, a ton of yards. Probably a Heisman favorite right now, and I think Miami's going to make the playoff. I think they're going to do it behind Cam Ward.
The ACC's kind of weak.
Yeah, and Clemson's their really only competition.
Clemson.
Yeah.
SMU's starting to climb, though. Don't sleep on the Mustangs.
Yeah, I think though, Cam Ward, man.
It is definitely
Yeah.
Miami's. It's definitely Miami's
Yeah.
conference to lose. And at the beginning of the season, I was like, "Why is Miami favored? Don't see it. This is why."
I also don't think they had played that great though. That defense stinks.
Yeah.
So that's something they got to
Once
figure
they
out.
get once they get to the
Yeah.
CFP, they're gonna be in trouble.
But when you got Moi Goi, Cam Ward on the field, you're gonna win every game.
it's scary.
Yeah.
Who do we got, Corey?
All right, so keeping up with the quarterback theme, good old Joe Burrow played
Thirsty.
Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool, Joey Cool, Joe Mathers.
Kevin from Home Alone.
He had he balled out. He had a career night. 5 touchdowns, 392 yards in the air, which is the 6th most in his career, and couldn't get the win just on some kind of just self-inflicted wounds. But this kind of a side note, but like the quarterbacks, I mean, I think it was like 4, 5, 6 plus quarterbacks threw over 300 yards this week. Like a lot of
finally.
quarterbacks
Especially
balled out.
saying the first episode that we shot, we talked about how shoddy the quarterback play
Yeah.
was. So I'm very happy that quarterback play is getting there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's like that first month of the season's preseason, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're not ready.
But Burrow looked so good, and he probably feels like me in my fantasy right now. Just gut-wrenching loss.
They got to figure something out and figure it out fast.
They're-
1-4 is not the way to
They're
start.
done. I
Yeah.
think they're done.
They need to more or less win out just to make a wild card spot.
Yeah, that's my Goi.
But you want to know what he has that that you might end up having soon? Some frosted tips. He had the frosted tips flying yesterday, man. So maybe you guys maybe twins. Maybe
Well, I mean, he did dye his hair and looked like Slim Shady for a little bit.
Now
But
he just has the tips, man.
I mean, yeah, that
We
is
got-
true.
We got Joe Ayub, Corey Barrow. All right, next segment. I had the pick 5 this week. Usually we do a lot of deep dive analysis for what our pick 5 is. I just picked the funniest names I could find. I did the top 5 funniest active college football names. I think the only one of them has recorded stats. Most of them are just bench riders, but with great names. So we'll start off with number 5 from the University of Central Arkansas. Dude Person. I'm curious on why these parents named them this, but Dude Person. I almost said Dude Perfect. On a Dude Perfect kick recently.
Dude. What a
dude?
name.
Dude. Wonder if he has a younger brother named Bro
Bro person
or Guy Person.
or person.
Person. Number 4 from FIU tight end Rowdy Beers.
Of course he's a tight end. I knew it. I knew
He
it.
has to be there.
Can we guess like positions
Sure.
of these guys?
Oh yeah, we should.
I
Wait,
mean,
who is
you'll
who is
know-
Dude Person? What was he?
I
Linebacker.
probably I didn't put the position. I do not remember off the top of my head. Give me 1 second to look this up.
This is fun.
He's like I feel like he's like a corner.
Dude
Like the
Per-
last names is you can't do anything
Dude
about
Person is a DB.
DB.
that. All right, he's on
Defensive
defense.
back.
All right.
Rowdy Beers was.
I think a lot of these guys are
believe he-
defensive players.
No, I believe I put Rowdy Bears. Whoops, Rowdy Bears would have been a
Rowdy
sick name, too.
Bear.
Rowdy Beers is a tight end.
I knew it.
Has not recorded a stat at
Oh,
all. No surprise. Number 3 is mobility. Why?
Bro, this sounds like a Key and Peele East West
All right,
Bowl
where
name.
do you think mobility's from, or what position he plays? He goes to Rice University.
I think he's on defense.
Yeah, I think he's like a left tackle or something.
Oh yeah, offense. You're thinking?
Actually, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you know
left tackle. Where do you think on defense?
Safety.
Close. He's a corner.
it's a corner. Okay.
Mobility. He has that mobility when he's guarding guys. Number 2, who is
This is just not real.
Jack's favorite player, memorable factor from Duke University, native of London, England. So maybe
Wow.
playing,
Pip, pip,
maybe
cheerio.
he is indeed Pip Pip Cheerio. Is a 5'11" linebacker. He is my.
I just want to know why they named him that.
So
Yeah.
what position do you think he? Oh, I told you.
You just said it. You
Linebacker.
ruined
Damn.
it.
He's a 5'11" linebacker.
That's crazy. How much does he weigh?
220.
220.
He definitely doesn't play, right?
No,
Yeah,
Sam,
no,
has
yeah.
never played. But crazy story. And number 1.
Yeah, nothing beats number 1. I'm
Number
sorry.
1, I'm sorry. Former Oklahoma Sooner, now for UL Monroe, General Booty. What a name.
He's
What a
the,
name.
you can't beat that. You can't beat General.
No.
It
Booty.
was even funnier when they were doing the Red River stuff. They always wear the gold hat, and he had it on. It just makes it even better. He's a true general. Like, how do you get the last name Booty?
What about
All these names.
Yeah,
Yeah, like beers. Like
Factor.
Yeah.
I think Rowdy Beer should have been number 2.
Rowdy Beer, I just think
I just love that name.
I just think mobility is so good and memorable factor.
Memorable.
That one I don't believe it. I think it's like a bot or something. It's just not 5'11" linebacker.
But, like,
named memorable fact.
I think if his last name wasn't Booty, If he was like General something, it'd be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But like, you just make his last name Booty. It's just so good.
Dude, Person has some stats.
He did.
Really?
He was. Yeah. There was only 2 guys who had stats. It was General Booty and Dude Person.
Last season, he recorded 12 total tackles, 4 solo, 8 assisted. And this season, he's got 25 so far to start out the season.
wow.
Wow, more playing
Might-
time. Look
might
at that.
see-
Dude
14,
person.
14 solo tackles, 11 assisted.
Wow.
What's his what year is he in?
He's a senior. He's a 5'10", 185 defensive back.
I would love to see, like the NBC Sunday Night Football Dude Person, quarterback, Central Arkansas. I think that'd be hilarious. Time to wrap it up with our favorite thing. Cameron is the king of it right now, but time for some Monday night football predictions. I am almost in dead last. I am 2 points ahead of Soren. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, how are we
Median
doing on the standings?
So Cameron is El Champion, followed by Mr. Biggs, leading the 3-3 gang with 105-point differential, followed by JD.
I made a huge climb.
Crawling out of the
Wow.
cellar.
2-0 last week.
Then Bernie,
We
Corey, Ben having the most amount of points wrong, and I believe it's going to get wider after this.
Yeah,
week.
I don't, Ben, I really want to know why you do that. And it's always like the home team winning by like
Yeah.
30 points. It's
Then
crazy.
we got me and Soren in the cellar. I have Soren beat by 2 points.
So Soren's in the alley
My-
and the
yes.
cellar.
Wow.
Jeez.
He's really
He
all
has a
messed
cellar
up.
in his head. But we will kick it off with myself for Monday Night Football. Chiefs versus the Saints. I will take Kansas City Chiefs 31-21. Now I know they have not won a game by more than one possession. That streak ends tonight. They're gonna win. I'm not really fired up about New Orleans. I'm also kind of pulling a little bit of the Biggs method, where I pick based off of what I need in fantasy. So I think Kareem Hunt is going to have his breakout game of the season. I'm saying over 100 scrimmage yards and a tutty. Had a good first showing last week, but I think this is the week where he fully explodes. Especially saying now, last week they had Rashee Rice get banged from the game early. And they didn't expect they scripted that game with Rashee Rice, and you could tell the offense stumbled without him. Yeah. So I think with a week of prep, they should be good. Derek Carr, like I said, coming down to earth after a couple good first couple weeks. Alvin Kamara looking like his 2020 self. He's never, which is an insane stat to me with how good he's been in his career, has never had a season with 1,000 rush yards. He's on pace.
That's wild, yeah.
His most was 2020 when he had 972. Now he had, I think it was 1,600 scrimmage yards, but he's never had more than 1,000 rush yards in a year. So this year might be the year they do it. Travis Kelce finally had his breakout week of the season, or breakout game of the season last week. And I think he's really going to step up with Rice being banged, obviously Hollywood being out, and even with like Hunt having to take over that backfield, I still think there's a chance he could still stifle this week. I think Xavier Worthy needs to prove, and he has the ability to be a number 1 receiver. I think he truly needs to step up, but I think Kelce can shoulder a lot of load. So give me Kansas City 31-21 and create some separation from Soren. Corey, what you got?
I got the Chiefs 20-14. I think this is going to be a battle of the defenses. Obviously, the Chiefs lost Rice, so their offense is facing some more setbacks. I do think Kelsey's going to be, the prime target again. For the Saints offense, I think they're going to have a tough time against Spagnuolo's defense with Chris Jones. I think he's going to wreak havoc with Derek Carr. And just in general, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you saw what he did against the Chargers. Even though they squeaked away in that one, he still came up with, big-time offense to get that win. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Chiefs will have the edge in this one. So Chiefs 20-14.
JD, what you got?
I got the Chiefs 24-13. I don't think Mahomes and the offense look that great again, but they'll do just enough like they always do to get another win. The defense is going to put Derek Carr in a blender tonight, I think. He's going to struggle. And the Kelsey theme, he's going to have a big game, I think. He gets his first touchdown tonight.
He hasn't got one this year, really.
Yep.
Oh,
I just wanted
Dang.
to make sure. Yep, he doesn't have one.
Dang. Cameron, what do you got, man? El King.
Honestly, I have the Chiefs 28-20. I just hope we all get swept, dude. Like, I don't want to see the Chiefs continue to go undefeated. I don't even look forward to watching this game. I don't plan on watching this game. I hope we all lose. I hope the Chiefs lose, even though like they probably won't.
Well, if you do, you might have to relinquish your crown.
That's fine with me, man. I think the Chiefs lose, America wins.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
don't
ha-
know.
you have the-
I
you
don't.
have the-
I just like I kind of had to take Jack's route. I chose this solely off of fantasy. I need Raheed. Shaheed, yeah. I need him to not have a good game. I need Kamara to not have a good game. That's not looking too hot in fantasy. So, I mean, I think America needs to win tonight, but the Chiefs are probably going to win.
We have the folder labeled as Refs versus America.
Yeah.
So you're rooting for the refs this week. Soren, come on down. Come back out of your alley and your cellar. Soren, what do you got for this week, man?
For this week, I have the Chiefs winning 24-20. I think it's going to be a competitive battle, but as my former roommate once said, CT, Chris Thomas, he has said, Patrick Mahomes is him. So I feel like maybe getting some receptions from at least Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to Worthy. Finding maybe Travis Kelce too.
Maybe taking out another wide receiver's knee. There's a lot he can do. He is Mahomie.
So, yeah, maybe he is Mahomie. So,
Okay.
yep, that's what I got.
And maybe tonight we'll see Troy Aikman do his best Tony Romo impression.
God, no.
You
know,
Soren, I really am not looking forward to this.
I don't know, Joe.
I don't know, Soren. Jack, who do we got, brother man?
So last week, I was the only one who took the Seahawks and got burned. So I'm running them back this week. Saints 31-27 over the Chiefs.
The ultimate fade god.
Zero fantasy implications here, actually, unless Mahomes scores like 80.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good night for the Saints. Passing offense, I think running Kamara might get a little stifled.
I hope you're wrong. I'm praying you're wrong.
But Olave and Shaheed didn't look to have good games against Chiefs secondary. It's been missing Snead.
You know, Jack, there's a reason why I didn't mention that league. It does say I have a 1% chance of winning. I don't even know if that's possible, but
He would have to run for like 300 yards.
yeah, throw
Yeah.
for like 500 for a touchdown.
I don't.
you know.
I think the only way he'd do it is if he ran for everything, because the passing touchdown is only worth 4. Maybe. Oh, dude, he catches a bunch of passes.
Yeah, never know.
Put Carson Wentz out there to throw.
does do
Mahomes
it
to
all.
catch. All right. Yeah, Ben. Ben, following this trend, picked the same score he picked from a few weeks ago. He has the Chiefs to win 45-7. I think Ben's trying to see how many points he could be off by this year. But he has the Chiefs 45-7. Any bold predictions?
0.
No.
None. Just the Chiefs
Just Chiefs
just
murder.
dominating.
Yeah. And the former El Champion, Bernie Radel, 27-24 in favor of the referees. He's gone, so probably no bold predictions. I think the only way it could move is Jack, technically. So if the Saints win, you'll be the champ, possibly, depending on points.
Yeah.
But I think if Chiefs win, you hold on. Of course, Soren honestly is playing the smarter strategy of just picking everything that I do because he physically cannot go down in the standings.
As he walks out.
He's
gone.
runs away.
He quit on us.
But like seriously, like he can't. He technically cannot move away from me if he keeps taking the same picks. So he might have. I hope he picks a different strategy. I might have to start just fading Soren. It seems like every week he picks like a score that's just close enough to mine where he could gain points, but like he always picks the same team. So I'm waiting for there to be a game. I should have done it this week. I'm waiting for there to be a game where there's no way he picks a certain team. So if it's like Panthers Chiefs, I'm hoping that like there's a week like that where I just pick the Panthers and he picks someone else just so I can separate from him. I don't want to be with him anymore. Or maybe he picks an egregious pick. I don't know.
Or he picks the Panthers.
Probably picks his nose. We got anything else before we wrap it up? Anything we want to talk about?
Let's go Mets. That's it.
Let's not.
Good luck to you guys.
One of us is gonna be
Yeah.
crying next week.
Well, at least the next 2 days we really won't be watching the game together per se. So
Yeah, you'll get some.
I'll be at my radio
some
shift
space,
you
yeah.
won't tomorrow. That's a good
I
thing.
might have to pop out.
Nah.
Make sure to tune into John's radio shift.
Yeah.
6 to 8 p.m.
tomorrow night.
Make sure to request a song 570-348-6202.
I was about to say
I
that,
blanked
yeah.
on it for a second.
yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to request a song from the DJ JD.
And make a like weird voice and everything,
it's
like
his favorite
disguise.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so fun.
Always do star 67 for anonymous calls.
Yep. Yep.
Cam, you got anything else for us? Shaking his head no.
Nope.
Do you want to talk to your peasants, King?
Honestly, no. I mean, y'all doubted Will Levis, and then Mason Rudolph got it done for me. So that's all I really got to say. I mean,
Listen, I just want to make a point. I said to Cameron in the group chat. I mean, the Steelers literally saved Mason Rudolph from doing real estate. So
They did. They did.
just remember that.
Shouts to the Steelers for that.
Got to appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of He Knows Ball. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow everything. TikTok, YouTube,
You know what to
and
do.
Instagram. You know where it is. Make sure to tune into Soren Alley as per usual. Makes you lose some brain cells, but it's okay. It happens. But for everyone here at He Knows Ball, JD to my left, Corey to my right, have a great week. Vince Goldschmidt signing off.